What if I told you the loudest battles we fight are not against the world but within ourselves? What if I told you there's an inner force, an energy so powerful it can either lead us to extraordinary heights or bring us to our knees? I'm talking about the ego. You see, the ego is that part of us that demands attention, recognition, and control. It whispers constantly, telling us we are always right, greater than others, and that we deserve more. And while these thoughts might seem harmless, they become dangerous when they rule our lives. When ego is in control, relationships fracture, peace disappears, and our inner self becomes restless and dissatisfied. Have you ever felt this way? You have everything you thought you needed, yet you're still not at peace? You feel this void inside, this constant dissatisfaction. Well, that's the ego speaking, trying to convince you that more is needed to quench the fire within. But the truth is, it's never enough for the ego because it feeds on more, always wanting more, whether we have it or not. Ego is like a spoiled child. It throws tantrums when it doesn't get its way. It lashes out, causing pain and destruction around us. But what if we could silence this inner turmoil? What if we could find a way to calm the storms within? In today's episode, we'll talk about why silencing the ego is crucial for finding peace. We'll explore ancient wisdom from the Bhagavad Gita, the teachings of the Bible and the Quran, and the modern perspective of Ryan Holiday's book, Ego Was the Enemy. Welcome to our channel, the place where the wisdom of the past meets the questions of today. If you're new here, hit the subscribe button so you never miss our uploads. And now let's dive deep into this life-changing topic. First, we'll look at the Bhagavad Gita, one of the ancient Hindu scriptures that offers profound insights into the human condition. Chapter 2 verse 47 of the Gita says, "One should neither follow the path of the unrighteous nor abandon righteous duties because of fear. For all living beings, fear and desire are born of the ego. He who conquers his ego will find peace." This teaching by Lord Krishna to Arjuna holds immense significance. It tells us that the ego is the root cause of our fears and desires, our suffering and our attachment. When we identify solely with our ego, we become fearful and selfish. We start to see others as competitors, as obstacles in our path to success and happiness. But as the Gita points out, all living beings are engaged in performing their own duties. When we recognize this, we understand that everyone has a role to play. We're not here to dominate or conquer. We are here to contribute. By silencing the ego, we move away from fear and selfishness. We discover the courage to face challenges without causing harm to others. We learn to perform our duties selflessly, not for personal gain, but for the greater good. And in this selfless action, we find true freedom. We become less reactive to external circumstances and more focused on fulfilling our purpose. Now let's turn our attention to the Quran, the holy book of Islam. Surah 21 verse 37 beautifully illustrates the importance of humility. "And walk not on the earth with arrogance, for you shall not displease Allah." These words remind us that Allah, being the Creator, deserves our utmost respect and submission. Therefore, those who humble themselves before Allah are truly great. They recognize their limitations and submit to a power greater than themselves. When we silence the ego, we open ourselves up to Allah's blessings. We acknowledge that we're not perfect and are constantly striving to improve. This humbleness leads to genuine piety and a deeper connection with the divine. Furthermore, when we remove arrogance, we cultivate compassion for others. We treat people with kindness and respect, understanding that all of us are imperfect and on our own journeys. This fosters a sense of community and brotherhood, reminding us that we're all children of Allah and part of a larger family. By silencing the ego, we align ourselves with the values of Islam and embark on a path of spiritual growth, compassion, and inner peace. Next, let's examine the Bible, a sacred text for Christians around the world. Matthew 23 verse 12 reads, "For whoever humbles himself will be exalted." In this teaching, Jesus emphasizes the transformative power of humility. He invites us to silence the ego, to abandon the desire for superiority and embrace the reality of our shared humanity. Humility, according to Jesus, is not a sign of weakness, but a source of true strength and greatness. When we humble ourselves, we release the burden of pride and open ourselves up to the abundance of blessings that await us. Jesus teaches us to treat others with dignity and respect, recognizing that all of us are equal in the eyes of God. By embracing humility, we transcend the divisions that the ego creates among us, and we become instruments of God's love and compassion. Finally, let's consider the teachings of Ryan Holiday in his book Ego Is the Enemy. Holiday, a modern-day philosopher and author, offers a compelling analysis of the ego and its detrimental effects on our lives. According to Holiday, the ego convinces us that we're the center of the universe and distorts our perception of reality. It blinds us to our weaknesses and hinders our personal and professional growth. Silencing the ego, therefore, becomes essential for self-improvement and achieving success. By quieting the ego, we can listen to constructive feedback and advice from others. We become receptive to different perspectives and ideas, which can significantly enhance our skills and knowledge. Moreover, when we silence the ego, we can connect with others on a deeper level. Instead of being defensive or judgmental, we can empathize with others, collaborate effectively, and build meaningful relationships. This sense of connection brings fulfillment and satisfaction to our lives, reminding us that we're not isolated individuals, but part of a larger community. Practical answers. So how do we silence the ego in our daily lives? Let's draw from the wisdom of the Gita, the Quran, the Bible, and holidays teachings to find practical answers. The Gita teaches us to practice selfless action. It reminds us to perform our duties without seeking excessive praise or rewards. By focusing on the quality of our actions and the service we provide rather than personal glory, we begin to quiet the ego's insatiable thirst for recognition. The Quran encourages us to cultivate humility. It calls for recognizing the blessings bestowed upon us by God and acknowledging our dependence on Him. By appreciating the gifts we've received and acknowledging our limitations, we can break free from the clutches of pride and arrogance. The Bible urges us to embrace service as a path to greatness. Jesus teaches us to lift others up and show compassion rather than elevate ourselves above them. By serving others and treating them with dignity, we silence the ego's divisive tendencies and open the doors to true fulfillment. Holidays philosophy complements these teachings by encouraging us to practice stillness and self-reflection. By taking time to pause, learn, and listen, we can detach from the constant noise of the ego. When we're still, we become more receptive to the subtle whispers of wisdom and guidance that can help us navigate life's challenges more effectively. In conclusion, silencing the ego is a journey that transcends religious boundaries. It's a universal pursuit of inner peace and self-realization. The echo of this truth resonates across cultures and time. Whether we call it ego, pride, arrogance, or self-centeredness, we all understand the destructive nature of an unheeded inner voice. The Gita, the Quran, the Bible, and holidays' work converge in this message. They remind us that the true path to fulfillment lies in humility, service, and a deep connection with something greater than ourselves. As we strive to silence the ego, we open ourselves up to a world of possibilities. We discover inner strength, genuine happiness, and the courage to face life's challenges with grace. It's a lifelong journey, a dance between the demands of the ego and the whispers of our soul. And in this dance we find the rhythm of life, the harmony of existence. So my friends, let us embrace this journey. Let us listen to the wisdom that echoes through the ages. Let us remember that in the silence of the ego, wisdom blossoms, love flows, and our true self shines through. Thank you for joining us on this episode. If you found this discussion valuable, don't forget to hit the like button and share it with those who might benefit from it. Your engagement helps us continue sharing these life-changing messages. As always, thanks for watching, and may the wisdom you've gained today guide you towards a more peaceful and fulfilling life.